I'm Faye Claridge, and I devised the We Bear project that resulted in 31 people producing the works you see in the exhibition. They were all made in the most difficult of circumstances, in 25 prisons in the middle of a global pandemic. Because of that pandemic, despite working together for more than a year, the participants and I have never met, and I don't even know the names of more than half, because their prison sentences mean they have to remain anonymous. I came up with the idea for We Bear after working with people in prison and looking at various examples of the chained bear used as the Warwickshire emblem. I decided to link an 1830s oil painting in the Compton Verney collection called Bear Baiting with a watercolour called Mann feeding a bear an ear of corn from the following decade, held at the American Folk Art Museum in New York. I sent copies of both of these pictures to men and women in prison in America and the UK and asked them to produce an artwork inspired by the paintings in some way. The logistics of this were obviously quite tricky during the pandemic, and it wouldn't have been possible without a lot of support from the Prison Creative Arts Project in Michigan and Novus, prison education provider in the UK. All of the works were produced during the pandemic, when people in prison were experiencing an extreme form of lockdown, some literally in cells 23 hours a day, with no access to communal areas or education spaces and no visits, because as one participant said, COVID tears through these places like fire in kindling wood. Many fed back just how important it was to have We Bear as a focus for their time and energy whilst locked up in lockdown. One man said, "I use art to escape the suffocating reality I am in." Another participant said he hadn't been able to focus on making anything for 8 months until my We Bear letter arrived, and now, because of the motivation it gave, he's back into painting every day. More generally, the participants tried to articulate the painful experience of punishment. Some wanted to take part for a chance to show the public what life in prison is really like. One said, "I hope this can give a glimpse into the creative minds and talent that reside in prisons and impart some insight into the effects of mass incarceration on our populations." One female UK participant said, "I'd like others to see in my art that we may all be like a bear, trapped by our own chains of doubt, low self-esteem, feelings of negativity, but we can take very small steps to a happier life, with guidance and help, to truly leave the trauma." In the US, another female participant also described how incarceration can be internalised. She said, "Confinement doesn't start or stop with imprisonment or a physical restraint. Judgment from others depletes and oppresses you like whips and chains. Self-judgment plummets you further into darkness and existence of overwhelming loneliness." One man dedicated his artwork to his mum, who he was unable to see in person throughout the pandemic. She wrote, "No painting has impacted him the way this one has. He dedicated the painting to me, and trust me, the tears are flowing down my face as I write this letter to you." Lots of participants said they related deeply to the two folk art paintings and the We Bear theme. One man in the UK spoke openly about feeling feral, saying, "All my life I've always felt different to everyone else and lived differently to others." A second UK participant used the bear as a metaphor, explaining, "What a bear is often down to the observer. A bear could be dangerous in some circumstances. A bear could be warm, loving and curious. A large, fierce male bear was once an innocent, curious cub. As with many dangerous individuals, there was, and probably still is, an innocent, curious kid inside." A third participant said, "Much like the bear in the painting, I felt powerless to defend myself against attack in full view of strangers. I am constantly being baited like the bear. I'm being tormented by my own sense of anger, my fear of the future, and my guilt that I didn't fight harder to prove my innocence." In the US, another participant expressed views on the treatment of prisoners, and will have the final word here. He said, "This theme spoke very strongly to me. Bear is a big and powerful animal, subjected to humiliation, ridicule and torment, fueled by fear of the bear's strength and power, the damage the bear can inflict. I can identify. The bear was raised by bears. He only knows how to be a bear, and all the beatings, punishment, isolation and confinement only makes the bear angrier and more resentful, less human. Compassion, Forgiveness, love, patience and understanding are the best tools that can help working with an animal like me.